Well, greetings, Quest. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you again. It's been a few weeks since we did one of these video newsletters, but things have been really busy and kind of coming and going, but I want to get back to and do this, so it's good to be able to communicate with you. And the thing today that I'd like to talk about a little bit is we just wrapped up our series out of the book of Colossians, which is all about rooted for growth, which really talked a lot about the supremacy of Christ and the necessity of maturity. And kind of a partner letter to the Colossians is the letter to this individual in that church named Philemon, who had an indentured servant, a bond servant, if you will, who had run away and ended up in Rome and ended up in the presence of Paul. And Paul talked him through the issues of life, and especially, most importantly, his relationship with God, who bridges the gap, the chasm between himself, God, and mankind, and every individual in it. And that became very applicable and very meaningful for Onesimus, who is the runaway slave. So, and then Paul talked through some of the practical realities of, hey, Onesimus, you're going to have to go back and deal with this. You're going to have to own up. You're going to have to confess up. You're going to have to kind of state your case, but you need to go back. In fact, I'd like to write a letter to Philemon on your behalf, and I will send it with you. I want you to deliver it. A long ways away, 1,600 miles probably, that it took him to get there to deliver it, along with Tychicus, who delivered this to the church and to Philemon himself. So that was a big deal, right? So I hope that was meaningful, helpful, and motivating to you. Now, in the fall, we're going to do a series that's going to be really, really important, I think, and it's going to be called Anchored, and we're going to really talk about what are we anchored in and anchored to, connected, so that we're steady. But in the meantime, the rest of this summer, we want to do a series called Unshakable, or Staying Steady in a Spinning World. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the world feels sometimes like it's spinning out of control, that it's unpredictable, that it seems to have lost its moorings in some way. And then we even live in a culture that it feels like it's lost its moorings, and that's a good thing. To kind of float crazy across the ocean and not being moored to anything and connected to anything. It's really the whole philosophy that we've abandoned that there's any fundamental absolute truth. And then without truth, people eventually figure out there actually is no basis for any morals, for any right and wrong. If there's no such thing as truth, then everything is true or nothing is true, both of which lead us into kind of a chaotic situation. So the scriptures, the Christian faith, suggests something very different from that, is that there is a place, there's something that creates an unshakability. And at the end of the day, it's actually in the nature and the character of God himself. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take on a little bit of the book, if you will, called Psalms, and a little bit of the book that we call Proverbs. And we can't cover all of them. There's a lot there, right? There's 150 Psalms. There's 31 Proverbs. There's a lot there. We can't do it all. We'll be here forever. But we're going to select some highlights in both Psalms and Proverbs that maybe help us think through what can we depend on to be unshakable and staying steady in a spinning world. Okay, so we're going to do 4 weeks in Psalms, 4 weeks in Proverbs. Now, if you wanted to spend time reading the Psalms and the Proverbs, that would be really awesome. But we're going to start this Sunday doing those two things, Psalms and Proverbs, with the idea of being unshakable, being steady, staying steady in a spinning world. Okay? Now, we don't do this so that we can just teach the Bible. We want to teach the scriptures so we're well grounded in them, so that we can live life in a grounded fashion. Right? And it makes a huge difference. But if we don't ground our lives in the nature of God and in his word, then we float and we drift into all sorts of crazy stuff. All right? All right. Well, hey, I love you guys. I'm looking forward to the rest of this summer with you. And so be well. Take care. Love you guys. See ya.